I think a healthy perspective makes all of us better people and certainly more flexible colleagues. There were times in my life that I was off working somewhere and somehow, practically it would have been a difficult. I remember the one that really got me was someone. It was not someone in my family, but a family that I was very close with, I grew up next door to, and I remember when the mother, at a certain point, she was in her, I guess, her early 70s or late 60s, but she died unexpectedly. And I was, of course, somewhere working in the middle of techs and whatever. And at that point, I was like, you're so focused, and you think, oh, I can't miss this. I have to be here. And I didn't go to her funeral, and I still regret it. And that was an important moment for me. It was like a watershed moment where I said to myself, now wait a second. Actually, Zelda Fitzchandler, who is a very famous woman, I don't know if you know who she is. She founded with her husband the Arena Stage in Washington, D.C., which really was kind of the first of the regional theaters as we know them. And I got to know Zelda really. She was a director, and I got to know her when I was at graduate school. She was running the graduate acting program at NYU. And it's a long story, but we got to be friends. And I remember sitting in her apartment one night having drinks with her. And Zelda said to me, I don't know what I said, and she said to me, Alan, a really important lesson is to realize, and she said, and I know I was there myself, and she said, then I realized, but the important thing to realize that it's drummed in you from day one when you're involved in the theater. The show must go on, the show must go on, the show must go on. And she said, I remember specifically when I learned the show did not need to go on. And I said, really? And she said, yeah. And she told me this story about, I think she was doing I think it was Three Sisters maybe, they were doing in the early days of Arena. She was directing it, and she got a call. It was maybe a preview or getting close to opening, or maybe it was opening, I don't remember. During the day, she got a call from her husband that her son was in a terrible car accident and was in the hospital and was really touch and go. He was clinging to life, as they say. And she said the first thought that went through her head was not, oh my God, my son is going to die. Her thought was, what about the show tonight? And she said, the next thought was, Zelda, you got a problem. This is a problem. This is on her way to the hospital. Because she said, I realized that the last thing that had to happen that night, that had to go on, was the show. And she said, it shocked me into something that's affected the rest of my life. And I thought, wow, this is a really important story. And she said, you know what? That shouldn't have to happen. You know what? They found out what happened. Someone's on the phone calling people. They gave them tickets for another night. It so didn't matter that show didn't go on. But my son was laying in the hospital in an emergency room, almost dead. He recovered, I'm happy to say, as that's the punchline of the story. But I thought that was really, stories like that from people who really know, really had an impact on me. And so I think that it was easy for me as it started happening, that I already had the warnings from Zelda. And so when I realized that, I thought, okay, time to regroup, Alan. This is not the way an adult, a human being, goes about conducting the life. This is a job, and I know it's easy to become your life, but it doesn't make you less of a theater artist by wanting to do things like leave a rehearsal and go to a funeral. You shouldn't worry about that. So it's a big, but there are people that don't have that sort of epiphany, and I think they're at a certain point in their life they become. It's hard. It's hard to be at a certain point in your life and then have all those, realize because I think then you start resenting what you do because you think all the things you've been cheated out of because of that.